Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. Today I want to answer a comment that I get a lot, and that is, I'm afraid my ex will move on if I do no contact. Now, as you probably know, but just in case you don't, no contact means that when someone breaks up with you, you say, okay, and then you do not reach out to them, you do not contact them, you wait for them to contact you. And so this fear about the ex thinking that they've moved on if they don't hear from them is one of the no contact fears. And so I want to alleviate that fear. So here's the thing. When you say that you're afraid that your ex will move on if they don't hear from you, even though they broke up with you, you're looking at it logically. You're thinking, if my ex doesn't hear from me, they will think I'm no longer interested. They will think I've moved on, and therefore they'll move on and I won't hear from them. And if love and dating were logical, that would make sense. That would be a great argument. The problem is that when it comes to dating, we're not dealing with logic. Do you want proof? Okay. How about the fact that they broke up with you, they kicked you out of their life, they told you they do not want to see you anymore, and yet you still want them back. Now, is that logical? Is it logical to want someone who doesn't want you? No, it's not logical. So we're not dealing with logic. So how is it that logic doesn't apply to you because you want them back, and yet you think it would apply to your ex, that they would move on if they don't hear from you because you're doing no contact? And in fact, it doesn't. There's no logic involved. Dating, love, attraction is often counterintuitive. So using logic to figure out what's going to happen or not going to happen doesn't work. Also, remember, they broke up with you. So why do you need to reassure them? Why do you need to reach out to them? They know that they are supposed to reach out if they change their mind because they broke up with you. And more likely than not, they're not going to think you've moved on. You're projecting your fear onto them. You're afraid that they're going to move on, so you assume that they are going to think the same thing, that you've moved on. That's why you want to break no contact. But the thing is, if they haven't missed you enough, if they haven't realized that they lost something good, they're not going to come back, whether you contact them or not. And even if your fear that they move on happens and they do start dating someone else, most likely it will be a rebound, and their interest level in the new person isn't going to be exactly the same as their interest level in you was at the height of your relationship. That's why I keep posting these no contact success stories, because I want you to see that just stick to no contact, and more likely than not, you will hear from your ex at some point. It's very rare that someone breaks up with you and then vanishes into thin air. Very, very rare. At some point, curiosity, nostalgia, whatever, they're going to reach out. It may take longer than you would like, but it's very unlikely that they will never reach out. I have a client, and his ex broke up with him over a year ago. Now, they talked 6 months ago, and he mentioned getting together, and her attitude at that time was, hell no. Well, now it's over a year later, and finally, things are starting to turn around. It looks like she's made a 180-degree turn. Yes, it's not a 360-degree turn, it's 180. Need to clarify that. And so, no contact is not something that you do for a few weeks or a few days and then you hear from your ex. You need to be in it for the long haul. So all these fears that come up, all this logic that you're applying to the situation, thinking, oh my God, they're going to think I move on, I have to reach out to them. Even if you do reach out to them, even if they do think that you've moved on, if they're not ready to get back to you, if they're not ready to talk to you, it won't matter. And you'll just have broken no contact, shown them that you're still there waiting for them, and then you'll need to start the count all over again. So as usual, your best bet is no contact. So if you have a question about this and you're listening on YouTube, please put it in the comments below and be sure to like the video. If you would like my help personally, you can contact me to get my coaching rates at theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And if you're listening on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. And in the meantime, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.